Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. So glad you could join us as we take you on another informative half-hour journey. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Coming up, HealthWise looks at nutrition to build and maintain good health. Plus, more communities are getting potable water. Sit back and relax with these and more to come after these messages.
Behind every Jamaican medical cannabis product is a story. To create that perfect plant requires the care, patience and nurturing of that special farmer. When harvested, it is carefully transported to a processing facility where it is transformed into high-quality medical cannabis products for consumption by responsible consumers. All this and more is possible through the closed-loop system created by the Cannabis Licensing Authority to protect the integrity of Jamaica's medical cannabis industry. For more information, call the Cannabis Licensing Authority at 876-654-7582 or visit our website at cla.org.jm.
Nutrients are the compounds we get from the foods we eat. We need them to give us energy and keep us healthy. Up next, we'll find out exactly what are these nutrients and the foods which contain them.
Eating healthy by having a balanced diet consisting of items from all the food groups and consuming the right portions is important to get the nutrients vital for disease prevention, growth, and good health. Essential nutrients are building blocks for the cells that make up the body, from bone to muscle, skin, and hair. One of the most critical ones is protein, which is made up of different amino acids, some of which the body can make on its own. We need a variety of proteins to function properly, many of which can only come from the foods we eat. Meats, fish, and eggs are essential sources from animals, while plant sources include beans, nuts, and some grains. How much protein you need daily depends on a variety of factors, including how active you are and your age. Carbohydrates are the main nutrients for fueling the body's energy needs, especially our central nervous system and brain. They help protect against diseases, but some carbohydrates are healthier than others. Some healthy sources include your fresh produce, such as yam, banana, breadfruit, and tubers, as well as whole grains, fiber-rich vegetables, and fruits. Less healthy sources include refined grains and products with added sugar. Fats often get a bad rap, but it's important to know that healthy fats are essential to our body's function. Fats aid in vitamin and mineral absorption, blood clotting, building cells, and muscle movement. Fats are high in calories, which is a measure of energy from foods, but the World Health Organization recommends keeping daily calorie intake from fat at under 30%. Including healthy fats, which are the unsaturated fats in your diet, can help balance blood sugar, decrease the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and improve brain function. Healthy fats are also powerful anti-inflammatories and can lower the risk for arthritis, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. Some of the well-known unsaturated fats are the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Sources of these healthy fats include fish, seeds, nuts, and vegetable oils, olive, avocado, and flax seeds. Trans fats are to be avoided, and we should also limit our intake of saturated fats, of which the main sources are animal-based and include butter, cheese, red meat, and ice cream. Vitamins are organic compounds essential for normal growth and are required in small quantities. There are 13 essential vitamins that the body needs, and these help lower the risk of diseases such as lung and prostate cancer. Vitamin A supports healthy vision, skin, and bones. Powerful antioxidants like vitamin C boost the immune system and helps the body heal. Eating a varied and well-balanced diet of fruits and vegetables should supply the body with the required vitamins. Minerals are also important nutrients needed for building strong bones and teeth. They help with regulating our body's metabolism and keeping us properly hydrated. The mineral calcium strengthens bones and teeth and helps with nerve signal transmission. It also helps to maintain healthy blood pressure and with muscle contraction and relaxation. Iron supports red blood cells and hormone creation, while the mineral zinc boosts the immune system and wound healing. The body also needs water, which improves brain function and mood, and acts as a shock absorber and lubricant in the body. Water also flushes our toxins, carries nutrients to cells, hydrates the body, and prevents constipation. Even mild dehydration can make us feel tired and impair concentration and physical performance. In addition to drinking water, we can hydrate ourselves by eating fruits and vegetables such as spinach and watermelon. Start treating your body right. As you grab your next meal, make sure you're getting all the nutrients needed in their right proportion.
Not tell me, say the boy beat you again. Me tell you figure report it, you know. Who you afraid of?
Everybody go do my business and me no want that.
You see the new police station, them have some room where you can talk to the officer in a private.
Project Rebuild, Overhaul and Construct P-Rock is coming to your community. P-Rock will provide new or renovated police stations with up-to-date technology, increased and improved mobility, and a safe and efficient environment for both police and citizens.
The journey to financial independence through wealth creation is being taken on by enthusiastic young entrepreneurs in the agriculture and tourism sectors. They are being propelled to succeed in business through the Rural Economic Development Initiative READY. Watch this next feature to learn more.
The National Development Plan Vision 2030 Jamaica outlines several goals to empower all Jamaicans to reach their fullest potential. A key step in achieving this target is creating equal opportunities to make a living from our abundant resources. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, through the Rural Economic Development Initiative READY, is doing just that by improving the earning potential of persons in rural areas operating in the agriculture and tourism sectors. The first phase of the program, which ended in 2017 after a 7-year run, provided benefits to over 19,000 micro and small-scale rural agricultural producers, as well as tourism product and service providers. Now, READY is set for its second phase.
We want to improve the linkages of agriculture to tourism. We want to improve the ability of farmers to have climate-resilient methodologies, that's drip irrigation, for example, protected agriculture. We want to improve the ability of community tourism enterprises to develop and become licensed to provide your services to our international guests.
With the support of a $40 million loan from the World Bank, READY 2 starts in 2020.
We want to enhance the competitiveness of both sectors, so we want to link our producers into strategic value chains, taking it from the primary production stage up through to the market, linking them not just to domestic markets but also to exports, as well as to build out more agritourism type ventures.
READY 2 will continue to build on partnerships with key government ministries, agencies and departments. These entities will receive technical assistance to improve their capacity to serve project beneficiaries. Across the island, especially in rural areas, cultivators depend on earning potential from farming to sustain themselves and their families. Lack of access to markets, climate change and unsustainable farming practices, however, continually threaten their livelihoods. READY 2 will seek to address those issues.
As it relates to climate resilient approaches, it involves looking at the farming practices, integrating more environmentally sound or green technologies in production, as well as in terms of alternative power or energy sources.
Registered farmers who are members of a cooperative or benevolent society are encouraged to apply for support to establish greenhouses, drip irrigation, water harvesting and storage systems, as well as other climate-smart land and soil conservation measures.
We also have a training component to ensure that the beneficiary group is prepared for business, because this is what Ready 2 is all about, is to develop businesses among rural communities. These groups have to be legally registered, either as a cooperative, a benevolent society, or a special authorized society, but they have to be legally registered.
The project will target vulnerable groups such as women, youth, and persons with disabilities. Groups are encouraged to incorporate these individuals in their associations for inclusiveness.
Everything that you see on the farm right now is from Ready. The plastic, the mesh, the irrigation system, the drums, everything. And we even receive training through them, all the necessary trainings that you would need to operate a greenhouse and to supply the wider market.
The project helped us in finding market. We got the market through RADA.
It has improved my life in the sense that I'm not financially dependent on anyone. I'm my own boss, so I choose the times I work, and it's working out quite well for me.
So in case we hadn't got assistance with any market for onions, we probably would have had onions sat around and spoil, or we might have had to give it away. However, we got that assistance and it was a profit.
And for those farmers who usually experience seasonal gluts, support will be given to construct more post-harvest and cold storage facilities.
Welcome to Charlestown Maroon Museum and a Sapphire.
Jamaica's culture is like no other, and there is great potential for communities with unique cultural, historical, and natural resources to share their experiences with the world and advance their neighborhoods through community tourism enterprises, CTEs.
Charlestown Maroon Council had received maximum aid or assistance from Ready 1 and is looking forward to move on to Ready 2.
On the Ready 1, we did a lot of infrastructure investment, capacity building, training in Team Jamaica, in business, all the foundational work that would be required. And community tourism enterprises are now really ready to go into the big leagues.
CTEs will receive support in areas such as business planning, identifying target markets, product development, tour packaging, and marketing and promotion to expand their ventures.
The Charlestown Maroon community in itself has been benefiting from it. The people of the community, they are now able to come and they display their goods, such as their craft, their fruits, their different things that they have done, and the tourists would buy what they have.
The Ready 2 project is poised to build and strengthen enterprises to improve Jamaica's agricultural production, as well as tourism products and services in rural areas. Get more information on the project's benefits, eligibility, and access by contacting the Jamaica Social Investment Fund.
Recover with integrity. Recover with integrity. We should all work together. One aim, one vision. In the fight against corruption, there is no division. United with the Integrity Commission. Let's stand up and make a healthy decision that we will not turn a blind eye. We will not cheat secret lives. We will not accept no bribes. We will not push values aside.
A message from the Integrity Commission.
Water is a life-sustaining resource and a key input for development and people's livelihood. So entities within government have been partnering to ensure that where it is lacking within communities, a reliable supply of clean potable water is provided. Watch this next feature to learn more.
for you every day, you have to contemplate how you're going to live your life without water. And for many of you, it would have been a struggle.
That's the challenge for many Jamaicans, not being able to access potable water in the comfort of their homes. While some persons have intermittent shortages, for others it has been a long-standing issue.
Who don't have to buy water, have to catch water, store water, walk with water, while other people have convenience. Turn on the pipe and have water in them house. Why you can't have that?
The government has been putting a serious dent into this burning issue by making water available to communities across the island. This is being done through the combined efforts of the National Water Commission (NWC) and the Rural Water Supply Limited (RSWL).
In modern Jamaica, we should reach the point where everybody has potable water, meaning water that you can drink, water that you can use to do your domestic chores with in your home, and that is our goal. This government hears the cry of the people for water. Water is necessary for your fields, but it is necessary also for your homes. It is an important convenience of life, but more than that, as Dave said, it is your right to have water.
$528 million has been set aside in this year's budget to construct and maintain water supply systems across rural Jamaica. Implementing agency Rural Water Supply Limited has several projects planned for the financial year. Among them are the rehabilitation of catchment tanks island-wide, installation of water-efficient fixtures and rainwater harvesting systems in schools, and the upgrading of rural water supply systems in select parishes. They include Islington St. Mary, Watermount St. Catherine, New Eden in Portland, Maroon Town and Tangle River in St. James, as well as Bath and Hayward in St. Thomas. Already, the RSWL has delivered the Flower Hill water supply system. 30 years in the making, the $110 million project will supply water to Flower Hill and adjoining communities. The infrastructure, which was constructed in partnership with the National Water Commission, consists of 2 relifting stations, storage tanks and gravity lines, which will be fed from the Greater Montego Bay water system.
I was born in Flower Hill, and from I was born, I come and see my mother, my father, my other older siblings, them carrying water on their head. And that was so painful because we have to carry it from some river.
I'm very, very, very happy because you see, this water problem, it has been plaguing this community for years and years and years gone by. And for us to see water turn on today, for us to get it in the house, that's a big boost.
Over in Hanover, the National Water Commission and the Rural Water Supply Limited came together again to provide the liquid to the people of Jericho and adjoining communities. The Claremont to Jericho water supply system was installed at a cost of $400 million. The project ends the community's 48-year drought.
Every single Jamaican can be assured that the government is making the investment in water according to strategic priorities. We want to know where we're going to get the greatest economic return. We're going to want to look at, for example, where we can ensure that when we make the investment, we can get the repayment. But we also have a duty to make the investment where people have been without water for many years.
I'm very, very proud to know that over the years, about 40 to 48 years, we haven't got any water in this community. And I'm very glad to know that today, on the 8th of August 2020, we are getting our water supply.
Buying water for $5,000, $7,000 per drum is very, very expensive. So for me, it's really a blessing. And the community is very, very, very proud knowing that it has reached to this far.
A similar NWC project in north central Clarendon has resulted in Moko and surrounding communities getting the commodity. The Moko Relief Station will serve the Red Bank, Cedars and Pusey communities, as well as Lennon High and a neighboring basic school.
It is not rare for the NWC to be operating in rural areas. But more and more, this administration is pushing the NWC to expand what is called the utility area, meaning the area in which they supply water for persons to be metered. For all the other communities in Jamaica who are waiting just as long and even longer for water, have faith, have hope.
Even as the government increases citizens' access to water, we can all ensure that all Jamaicans get the commodity. How? By practicing water conservation measures and paying your water bills. The more regularly you pay, the more funds will be available to lay new pipes, repair broken ones, and implement more water projects.
If you don't pay, the NWC can't pay. If the NWC can't pay, then they have debt. And if they have debt, it becomes the government's debt. The government can't print money. So the only way that the government is going to repay the debt is more taxes. So either way, so it is better that you pay the rates which are set reasonably and you manage your consumption of the water, because when you didn't have the water, it costs much more to pay for a truckload of water than it would cost you to use the water in the pipes.
One day I work for the fitness, man. No, the fitness. I'm a care fitness, man. I'm paying a tax officer.
Oh. Yeah. Well, you don't have to run, man.
Oh, respect.
No, man. I mean, you don't have to go in there, man. You can pay vehicle fitness online.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. THG make it easy for you now. You know, so not an excuse.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Respect, man. Hey, you still have to work on your fitness, though, you know.
I'm going to deal with it online.
Transformation is happening across the public sector. Many services are now available online. We are building a better public service for all. Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit.
Have lots of organic waste from the kitchen around the yard? Why not turn them into something of value, such as soil compost you could use for your potted plants or growing vegetables in your garden? Watch this next feature to learn how to do just that.
Compost is one of the richest form of soil nutrient. So here we are buying fertilizer for huge sums of money, when in fact we are throwing away something which is richer in many regards than what we are buying, spending hard cash for. We, from time to time, do what we call garbage characterization survey. This is where we actually go island-wide and take samples of the garbage and look at what make up the garbage. All the surveys that are done in recent past points to one particular set of dynamic. The compostables are always the highest. 67% in some survey, 65% in some. We eat vegetables. We do ground provisions, the peelings from those. We use cardboards, newspapers, lots of stuff that can be broken down and can be put to good use. With such a high percentage of the solid waste being compostable, we are therefore forced to look at how we're going to manage in the best way possible, in the most efficient way possible, that high percentage of the garbage.
Composting is a rich form of soil that is broken down by microorganisms to become either fertilizer or soil. Now we're going to do a demonstration to show you how we can do it. First, if we're starting, this is our kitchen waste. So if you're starting a compost bin at home, you need to get your kitchen peel, your banana, your lettuce, your cabbage, your tomatoes, and you cut them in finer particles. It will make it break down much faster. In order for the microorganisms to work effectively, you need moisture, you need air, and you need heat. You can use a hand shovel or your hands. Too much moisture will allow the stuff to rot and it won't decompose. And if it is too dry, the microorganisms won't be able to work effectively. So you need to get a right mixture. If you squeeze it with a fist, you shouldn't have any water running out of it. If it's dripping, it is okay. If it is running out of it, that means you have too much water. So now this is our compost. If you keep this moisture in your compost, it will give you a maturity rate of 3.5 months. And you'll get this final product, which is this right here. Compost, what it does, the longer it stays into the ground, is the richer it becomes. We're going to demonstrate how we use our compost for potting. We're going to pot a few plants using our compost. This plant is called spider fern. It is an indoor plant that does like a fair amount of water. It likes a light mixture. The composting can be used for indoor and outdoor plants. This plant is called a bougainvillea. It is an outdoor plant. It likes a lot of sunlight. It blooms a lot, and it likes dry areas. The compost is offer drainage. It doesn't keep the water too long. This is now 6 weeks old, and this is 3 weeks after being planted as a seedling using our compost. And this bougainvillea is 6 weeks after being planted by our compost. And they're just blooming, blooming, blooming. This is a mature spider fern that we use for our rentals, and this is about 2.5 months old.
The other benefit is that we at the NSWMA, we would need less trucks. Now, right now, our biggest problem is trucks to remove garbage. Can you imagine if we could take out the 67%, which we could convert at source? What that would do to our national budget? Gas oil, repairs of trucks, labor to work on the trucks. Just look at it. It is huge savings that could come. Exponential is about getting a behavioral change at source that will see significant reduction in solid waste. We want to see this reduction and to see it in a very tangible way. And we believe that composting provides that excellent opportunity.
With that, we end today's journey on Jamaica Magazine. You've been great company. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another show. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website, jrs.gov.jm, or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you for watching, and do walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.